Well, we cast our eyes to Tab Melbourne Cup Prelude Series number 2. My name's Jason Adams. I'm joined by George Farrugia. And George, it's gone up a gear. Things are starting to heat up.
Yeah, you're right, mate. And not just the weather in Melbourne. I mean, we've got some glorious days coming, and you can just tell that the fast dogs are ready to really ramp up their preparations for the Melbourne Cup. And I think at the top of that list is Aston Rupee. Great to see him back at Sandown this week. And obviously, he's got a berth in the Top Gun, so he's got some fish to fry there as well. But look, it's all leading up to the Tab Melbourne Cup, and can't wait to see what he does out of box 5.
Let's take a look at each of these preludes, which do make up the quaddy legs, and one of the more informed greyhounds, not only in this race, but just about going around at the moment, is Rickett and Rick. He's won 4 in a row, and he was just massive in that free-for-all last week.
And Jace, you've been around the traps for a while. I mean, can you remember a time when Jimmy Redenbach doesn't have a good greyhound? I mean, there's always one floating around this time of year, and Rickett and Rick, as you said, his picket fencing. He's such a powerhouse greyhound. He's racing so well at the right time of the year. It's going to be an interesting clash between Rickett and Rick and Caroline, a young greyhound for Anthony as a party, who, look, might be giving away a little bit of experience. But I tell you what, she's got some speed, and she's drawn really well here. Keep It Black, I think he's always competitive in these type of races. Aston Lavinia could show a little bit of speed. So I'm leaning more towards the inside draws here, but yeah, for me, it's hard to go past Rick, especially if he gets a nice sit on them early.
We move on to the second prelude of series number 2, and a couple of big names within. Zipping Rambo, RSN Sandown Cup winner, but I think most exciting is Aston Fastnet. He is back. We haven't seen him since August, George, but look, he's first up in the city. That's a challenge within itself, let alone in a Tab Melbourne Cup prelude.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I think that's testament to the dog. And as we know, he's with a master trainer in Jason Thompson, who will have him as prepared as he can be. A little bit of a challenge from box 5, a little bit of speed in the race, obviously. But look, if he begins cleanly, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's first up and, capable of running 29.30, 29.40. He could do. They might even go a little bit quicker. But I think it'll tell us a lot about Aston Fastnet and where he's at. He hasn't done a lot of racing more recently. And Zipping Rambo, I mean, we know his competitive nature over 5, 6 and 700 metres, so we can't discount him from the pink box. But all eyes on Aston Fastnet. Big couple of weeks ahead for him.
The third prelude of series number 2 is headlined by Rebellious. He was just magnificent last week. The 6th fastest win that we've seen this year, George, and it was just the way that he handled himself in a 2-turn track. It was the complete performance and something we haven't seen from him before.
Yeah, you're right. And, I mean, we spoke about trainer Jason Thompson. I mean, he's always relevant this time of year. He's always got a great team. But I think Darren Pulio has had a great couple of years as well with some real contenders. And I think Rebellious has put his hand up as one of his this year. Jace, always a big threat when you get a greyhound that can go 5.02 and then run the 29.10 mark. I mean, we're talking greyhounds, like current greyhounds like Koblenz, and when Aston Rupee's at his best, he can go even quicker. They're the ones that tend to be really hard to beat, especially when it comes to Melbourne Cup time. But you're right, this is a really big challenge. Idolize is only a young greyhound. This is clearly her toughest test. She started almost favourite in that great chase, and this is a step up for her. But obviously the camp have got a big opinion of her. Shimmer Classic, we know what she can do when she gets the start right. Music Event is an absolute star. So you're right, this is a cracking race. Really hard to go past Rebellious if he does the same things as he did last week. He's just starting to work into it. He always showed ability on provincial tracks. As you mentioned, he brought it to the metro town last week, and he can do it again this week. He'll be incredibly hard to beat.
Now for the 4th and final prelude of series number 2, and the biggest name in the game, Aston Rupee, track record holder at Sandown Park, and we see him for the first time since he was 4th in the Group 1 Adelaide Cup. And as fast as he is, George, he just doesn't have that explosive speed away from the boxes in the first few metres. So having drawn box number 5, it's not going to be awfully easy for him.
No, it's not. And he's one of those interesting greyhounds where you sometimes see the price, Jason, where he's currently around the $1.70 mark, and you sort of second guess yourself a little bit. Is he the fastest dog in the country? Yeah. But again, you're right, that those first couple of steps can be sometimes not where he shows his best. And there's speed in this race. I mean, Hadouken can begin. Handsome Rhino, Japara, drawn off box one. Whatever I say, I know can switch distances, but she can get out of a box okay. So, and then we've got a young gun like Don't Tell Bluey. I know you've been a fan of this dog, Jace. Again, just continually taking the step up and doing the right things. He's around the $10 mark. So it's a big step up for him. But look, I think greyhound racing fans just want to see Aston Rupee get around safe. And as we said, he's going to be in a Top Gun next week. But certainly not a betting proposition, I think, for mine. Not sure what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I do think there's a bit of danger attached. I mean, box 5 isn't ideal. He's not the best of beginners, as we know. And I think there's going to be a fair bit of pressure come from Hadouken on his outside as well. That's a look at all of the headline acts in Tab Melbourne Cup Prelude Series number 2. And speaking of Aston Rupee, there's plenty of fast greyhounds around, and we're 2 weeks away from the 4-dog shootout, where all finalists are, of course, exempt straight into heats of the Tab Melbourne Cup, George. And I guess with so many fast dogs around, you can only imagine what that shootout field could look like.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better versions we've seen in a while. And as silly as it sounds, because it's a group race, a couple of trainers will use it as a testing or a stepping stone for the Melbourne Cup. And, you know, dogs like Aston Rupee, Koblenz, these type of dogs just come to mind. And I think I can't wait to see who nominates for it. It's going to be a cracking event, and I don't envy the grader to pick the final 4, I can tell you, because it looks like it's going to be a hard task this year.
And George, how about the amount of action that we've got on our plate at the moment? We speak about these preludes on Thursday night. We then roll into the Cranbourne Cup this Saturday. Monday night, the Hume Cup and Silver Bullet at the Meadows. We then roll into the Top Gun Saturday week. And then, as we've touched on, the shootouts coming up in 2 weeks' time. It's an amazing period for the fans.
It's wall-to-wall group racing, isn't it, Jason? And this time of year is unbelievable. The finish to the year is going to be crazy. And look, the Melbourne Cup is one of those races that everyone dreams of having that trophy up on their mantelpiece. And as per every year, it's not an easy thing to do, especially this year. There is, if you have a look at the pre-post odds, there are so many chances, and box draws are going to play a huge part in that heat night. And we're really leading up to it. We can't wait. But first things first, this Thursday night, Aston Rupee, Aston Fastnet. Can't wait to see the brothers in action.
Well, the good thing is we don't have to wait long at all. You can catch all the colour from Thursday night by following us on Twitter at Sandown Dogs, and catch all of the action live on Sky Racing 1 as well as the Watchdog app.